alcoholism, drugs, you name it, like whatever there was, I was trying to get into. What am I really doing right now? Like, what am I doing with my life?
So we have Francesca. Let's get into your testimony. Let's start off with that.
Yes, so I actually grew up in church. I think a lot of like church kids who are now leaders and stuff in their churches or doing great things for the Lord. Some of them were PKs, preachers' kids like myself. My dad was he still is actually an ordained minister. He had his own church when I was like 12 years old. We would serve there and sing on the like little choir that was just, I think, just our siblings. I think it was like four of us. And yeah, after high school, college, I mean, we learned about the faith and everything like that, but wasn't ever anything that was substantial, is the word I probably would use for that experience that I had while going to church and being in the choir and doing all of the church things. So much like a lot of other quote unquote prodigal sons, daughters, just went about my own life, doing everything that I wanted to do, partying, clubbing, really becoming part of the rebellious crowd. Like, one thing I can say about my pre-Christ life was had a lot to do with rebellion, and almost so that it, like, I was proud to be rebellious, if you know what I'm saying. To kind of take the long road to wisdom, take the long road to wisdom. So yeah, I ended up partying, clubbing, doing everything under the sun. I actually ended up really dealing with a lot of materialism. And when I ended up moving to Atlanta, really all I was caring about was reputation and really, I guess, what the social media life now consists of more so. The look of it all and the money and the clouds, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Having the clothes and having the face beat and doing all of those things, but never truly having anything. And I actually wrote a song about this a few months back. It'll be out soon. But yeah, just not having anything substantial to share with the world other than just superficial things. So I want to say it was like 2015. Is that 2015? No. That was around 2016. My now husband, who was just like he wasn't really my boyfriend at the time. Honestly, he was just somebody I was just talking to at the time. He ended up sending me a video, and in that video, it was a man who had I guess like a dream or like an out of body experience where he was on the stairway to judgment, and the Lord was sending everyone to hell, just about. Like, I hate to say it like that, but that's just the truth. Like, it was just his experience, and what was impressioned upon me after watching that video was just like a wake-up call of like, what am I really doing right now? Like, what am I doing with my life? And I feel like up until that moment, I really had not thought about God. I didn't think about my eternal salvation. I didn't think about eternity. I wasn't thinking about any of those things. I was literally just living from day to day with alcoholism, drugs, you name it, like whatever there was, I was trying to get into it. I was like that type of person to just be wanting to be in the mix, in the scene. Now, girl, I love being at home.
I feel you. I feel
I
you.
love, like, it's the complete opposite, and I love it. Like, I love it. But yeah, so at that moment on that day, and that was like 1 or 2 in the morning, I can remember pretty vividly. I remember waking up the next morning and kind of just being like, what am I doing? And like, where am I going? And the friends that I was hanging with at the time, I kind of was asking them, like, do y'all think that we're like going to heaven? And they did not want to have those conversations. Like,
Oh,
they were almost
wow.
like, why are you asking those questions? You're being
Yeah.
weird. You're being very like, yeah, like it was very off-putting to know that people that you thought were like best friends with you didn't want to talk about other things that actually really mattered. So of course it, drew a great wedge in our friendships and what I saw to be friendship at the time. I'm like, what is friendship at this point if we can't talk about this? And I remember at the time, like, just driving back home, like I was asking my friend, I played the video for her, and I'm like, what do you feel? Like, I was just hoping and praying that she would experience something different or something like that I did. And she was just like, yeah, it's just not really clicking for me. It was, I mean, but I get it. You know, the Lord
Yeah.
has his way of doing things in due season and in due time. So, of course, now I get it, but I was like, no, like, you know. So I ended up having like a huge hiatus, like just cutting myself off from the world, from the things of the world. It very, very much so felt like a Damascus moment of just turning away from my old life and yeah, hiatus from social media, all of those things. Just asking the Lord, like, what do you want with me? You know, like
Hmm.
this was very drastic of a lifestyle change for me. So yeah, I remember just asking him that, and he never answered me. He never answered me, but I didn't really care at the time. I was just sure that wherever he was taking me, I wanted to be there. I wanted to go. I wanted to be a part of whatever he was doing in my life, in the world. Like it was just new and it was fresh, and I was here for it. And yeah, so a little bit after that, I ended up, you know, joining a church home and you know, having to find new community and stuff like that, which was not easy at all. But and I still feel like I'm still building community in a way. But yeah, I ended up joining, you know, some churches and trying to get connected and just see like, okay, what does this life consist of, and what do I do, what do I not do? It was a very bumpy road, but we're here now.
Yeah, that's really cool because I always notice a common theme with people's testimonies is like there's a moment where it's like, okay, yo, what am I doing? And then there's a time where it's like isolation, being alone, really trying to figure out where we're supposed to go, what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to do it. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a really good point that you touched on. So you said you're very much into materialism. And I know Atlanta is the place for clout and the place for all of that stuff. I guess what was your process to kind of get out of that?
I guess really just spending time with the Lord, if that makes any sense. I know it sounds pretty cliche, but yeah, just being introduced, like I said, I was kind of like, okay, Lord, what does this look like walking with you, talking with you? I started to realize everything that I held to a high esteem did not matter. It didn't matter. It didn't matter in the grand scheme of things, and it didn't matter in the small details of life. Um, it was vanity. And like I remember reading in Ecclesiastes and seeing that like everything under the sun was vanity, all that we were doing and striving for. So I would, I guess to answer your question, I would just say like renewing my mind and really being able to see what the Lord had for me. And I can already say, I'll say this, like in that moment, I felt like when the Lord encountered me, I felt like he was already kind of doing the work in me for me, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't like a personal thing of me just saying, I'm going to do this, or, you know, it was something that he saw fit to say, like, I see this in you and I need to uproot it to do what I need to do in you, if you know what I'm saying. So I do feel
Yes.
like it's something that he started to switch off and started to say, like, I see that and I want to deal with that. And I think he understood the immaturity in my heart and in my walk with him that I didn't know even to address it in my own strength. I just knew, okay, Lord, I know I hear you calling me. I don't know what this looks like completely, but he saw a surrendered heart. He was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, step by step. This is what I want from you. Fruits of the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Being meek, being gentle, being unlike the world, and demising those things actually.